Hi all, welcome to Coding Tricks. This is part 5 video of Angular series. In this video, I will explain how to use router guards, and we'll also see what are router guards and how many types of router guards are available and how to use them. Okay, when it comes to router guards are something like a filters. Okay, so filters in the sense, if you want to execute some, if you want to protect your route or if you want to secure our route, then you can use filters or router guards. We call it as in Angular router guards. Okay, and or else if you want to execute a particular action before router executes or after router executes, uh, you can use router guards. That means if you want to perform any action before or after a routing execution, you can use router guards. Okay, so that is the basic purpose of having router guards. So we have actually 5 types of router guards. Okay, the first one is, I'll just write it down here. The first one is can activate guard. Okay, we call it as can activate. Okay, next can deactivate, and third one will be can, you can say, resolve. Okay, fourth one will be can load. Okay, fifth one will be can activate child. Okay, so these are the 5 router guards available. So when it comes to the can activate guard, suppose if you want to perform some authentication, based on some authentication you want to allow a user. So normally when you take in a real-time application, login page will be anonymous access. That means any user can access that. And once the login is authenticated, you want to give the next pages. For example, if it is a dashboard page, you will give dashboard page only after user is authenticated. Okay, so that can be done using activate guard. So in the activate guard, we will check user is authenticated. If the user is authenticated, then we will allow the other route to be executed. If the user is not authenticated, then we will not allow that route to be executed and we'll stop there and then, and he will not see any component loaded on his page. Okay, that is for the can activate guard. When it comes to the can deactivate, suppose you want to suppose user exit from the page. While exiting from the page, if you want to show any unsaved messages, so user has done some changes on the page, without hitting the save button he is navigating away from the page. At that point of time, if you want to show any message, you can use can deactivate. So using the can deactivate, you can pop up a message and you can show the message that are you exiting from this page, or do you want to save some kind of message. Based on his input, we can he can stay on the same page or he can navigate away from the route. So this will be executed after a route executed. That means once the route is loaded, while leaving the route, this guard will be executed. Okay, resolve. When it comes to resolve, suppose you have some data to be loaded from the service. Before the route is executed, you want to make some data to be available to that route, then you can use resolve. That means if you want to execute a route, that route will talk to a service and that service will get the data and you place it. So if you want to do that kind of operation before itself, that means before the route even executing, you want to talk to the service, and from the service you want to get the data, and that data you want to display it once the route is loaded, then you can use resolve. That means it will preload the data. Mostly it is for preloading the data. Once I mean, before hitting the route, if you want to load a preloaded data, you can use this resolve. Okay, when it comes to the can load, we have a concept called lazy load. So I will explain in this video what is lazy load. So and can load and can activate guard both are combination. That means if the user is not authenticated, he will not see the component. But internally, if you don't have can load guard, even though the user is not having enough access, he will he will see all the components loaded on the components loaded in his browser. That means the browser will load all the components irrespective of user, whether that user has access or not. uh, when you have can activate guard, he will not see he will not see the page loaded, but HTML loaded, but he will see the component loaded on his browser if he does not use can load. So if you want to more secure, you can use can load. So normally Angular uses eager load. That if you want to make it as lazy load, you can go with lazy load option, and lazy load combination with can load will give you that option, secure your component. If the user is not having an access to see that particular route, he will not even see the code related to that particular uh, component, so it will not be loaded into in his browser. So that way you can use can load. Using the can load, you can secure your component code not to be loaded on the browser if the user is not a authenticated or valid user. That is the purpose of can load. And when it comes to the can activate child, suppose you have a can activate guard. So can activate guard is majorly applied on parents. If inside the parent you have child routes, so if the can activate guard is denied, that means if the user is not having access to that parent route, he will not even obviously will not even see the child routes. But there may be scenarios he wants to see the parent route, but he doesn't want to see the child routes. So in that case, each child route you need to apply can activate guard. Instead of that, you can use can activate child guard, and only in one place if you apply can activate child guard, under the children will not be loaded. Okay, so that is the purpose of can activate child. So all these things I will show in this video. Okay, first we'll start with the solution. So this is already created solution. So if you miss my previous routing video, please go and have a look. Let me start this service first. I'll do one small thing. ng serve. So normally when you want to create a component, or when you want to create any lazy load or anything, you can use CLI. CLI is having all the commands to generate it. Suppose if you want to generate a see, as of now, if you see in my code, everything I'm writing it because it will be easy. You will understand how internally Angular works. So it is better always you write your own. Otherwise you can use even preloaded CLI commands. If you want to create a new component, you can use ng generate component and component name. It will automatically generate the component. You no need to write manually. But most of the times I'm writing manually, so that it will be you will remember the things, and it will be easy for you to understand what is internally happening. Okay, so now I'm compiling this code using ngserve -open. So if I press this command, automatically it will compile my code. Once the compilation is completed, it will load my page in the browser. Okay, my browser is opening up and it is showing, and you can also see everything is loaded. There are no issues, nothing. So now we'll start our guards. To do that, I will segregate my folder structure, because in the real time we will not have everything in the same folder, so we have to separate it based on our implementation. So to implement that, I will have a new folder called components. So I want to create a lazy loading component, because to demonstrate can load, can activate and lazy load, I need to have a separate component, lazy load component, to be created. So that is the reason I have created a component folder. So normally when you are working for a Angular application, so you need to have separate folder for each and every operation. You shouldn't mix everything in the same folder structure. So it will be cumbersome later point of time. If you want to see, it will be difficult. Okay, we'll also see how to create a shared module. Okay, how to use that I will show in this video. Okay, I have created components, and next I will create modules. This is for the shared modules creation, and I will also create a new folder called cards. Okay, so these three folders I have created. First I will let me create one guard. So first I will create can activate guard. So I will name it as can activate guard. Okay, so guard creation is very simple. So you have already can activate guard is available in our Angular route, and after that you need to import injectable, and you need to decorate your can activate or whatever guard you are writing, that has to be decorated with injectable. Once this is injected, you need to define that as an service. So all these things will be loaded as constructor injection. So this is almost similar as how we write the service. Okay, so import, I will have Angular router, and here I'll have can activate, and along with that I need to have two other parameters, activate a route snapshot. I will explain it to you why these things are required. Route state snapshot. Okay, after that I need to have something called import injectable, that is available in Angular core. And I will decorate this as injectable, and export class, I will name this as can activate guard, and it implements can activate injectable. I don't know why I have to, so I will just take it off one. Okay, when it comes to can activate guard, has to implement a method, can activate method, and this takes two parameters. One is active route, so that comes from activated route snapshot, and second thing comes with the route state, which comes from a router state snapshot. Okay, and this will return boolean. This can return boolean, or this can return observable boolean, or this can return even promise boolean also. Okay, so that you can do it, and this is a boolean, so I need to return a value. So return true. First I will return, so see, normally I have simply written here true, but instead of that, here you need to inject your own logic. That means if the user, if you want to validate whether the user is valid user or not, if in that case what you do, here you will make a service call. From the service you will make from the service you will hit the database and you validate whether the user is valid or not. If your user is valid, then you will return as a true or false. So for simplicity sake, I'm not doing all those things, I'm just writing here return true. But you have to write your own logic here to do validate. Simply based on that, you need to put here if condition. If the user is a valid user, you will return true, otherwise you will return false. Okay, so this activate route is basically gives the route information, route parameter information, or route data information. So you need to have some certain times you need to actually validate what the router data is coming, and you need to pass the route data information that you can pass through activate route. And similarly route state, when it comes to the route state, you can actually validate route state will give you URL. What is the URL of your route? It will give you. So these two parameters are required to validate further things. Okay, that's all. I have created this, and once this is created, I'll have to load this. So to load that, I'll go to app module, and inside this app module I need to have this registered, and I will name this as guards slash can activate guard, and then here name it as can activate guard. Okay, this activate guard you need to specify it inside provider, so this can be as a provider. Once this is done, come to app routing module, and here inside this I want to have can activate. This is the tag you need to use, and you need to specify here as an array, because you can specify multiple can activate guards. So can activate guard I will take from app module, which I have already declared here. Okay, this can activate guard I will place it here. So you can give command, you can specify n number of guards. Okay, I have specified it here. So now let me run this code quickly. So it is working, it means my code is compiled. Okay, the first time I have returned true, that means it is allowed, that's why I'm able to see this. I will change this to false. Let us see what happens. That means the validation is failed, user is not a valid user. In that case, what happens? See, you don't see anything loaded here, and it is coming as empty. The HTML is not loaded since the route is not valid. Okay, this is the simple purpose of activate can activate guard. And I will explain the other routes, I mean the other guards can deactivate and resolve and activated child. The first I will go with lazy load and with combination with can load. Okay, so let me create first lazy load. So as I mentioned, lazy load, uh, as of now if you see it, it is a eager load. Eagerly it is loaded, even though if you are accessing or not accessing, the code will be the entire code will be loaded here, the entire module code will be loaded here. So that is the disadvantage of having eagerly load. So if I want to control that behavior, I can go with a lazy load. Okay, I will show you how that works. So for that I will create a module, I will create a shared module. See, again, this you can create through command, CLI command, but I am creating it here manually. So I will name this as lazy load dot module dot ts. Okay, this I will copy paste the code from here. I have already code here, so I'll just paste it here. And I no need to have these components placed, just take it off. And this complete thing also I will take it off. Okay, instead of this I will use something else. Okay, this is route I have defined. And if I have to use an shared module, you need to import one more module called common module. Because if you are using anything related to ngFor or ngf, that will not be loaded by default, because since it is not defined in the app module. So if those directives to work, you need to import this common common module. So it will be available under common. This common module you have to import. So in app module, common module, you don't see it, you will see browser module, because browser module internally contains all the components which common module contains. So that is the reason we don't have here common module decide. But browser module you cannot declare one more time here, because browser module should be declared only once. If you declare one more time, it will give you error. So that is the reason I'm not going to declare it here. Okay, so I will make it as lazy load module. Okay, so I have defined one separate module, shared module, to showcase how lazy load works. This is done. And now I'll create a component. So this time, to create a component, I will use the command, a simple command. I'll give ng generate component. I'll give lazy load dot component dot ts. Yeah, if you observe it here, it is created. Unfortunately I have not given inside, so it is created outside, I believe. Yeah, it is created, you can see it here. Lazy load component is created here, it's with a separate components folder, and I have placed it here. This I will move it inside my component page, sorry, component folder. this I will take cut. I think this is not the better way to do it. Let me just do. Okay. I have just moved it. Okay, so this is created and you can see it here. Inside my component folder I have another folder, lazy load folder, and I have defined it here, lazy load. So it shouldn't be like this. Okay, I have given unnecessarily ts. So what I will do is I will just delete this. Okay, I will have to create a new folder. I'll name it as components. Okay, now I'll quickly go here and I'll do cd components. Okay, it should be inside source, inside app, cd components. Okay, now I'll use ng generate component lazy load. I just have to specify, that's all. This is the way you should specify it. So if you see it here, it should be created under this. It is created under this lazy load. It is created lazy load component.cs component.html spec and ts. Spec is nothing but a testing file. So it is also loaded this, and it is also written my code whatever I want to have it. So I no need to do anything here. Simply I will have lazy load works. Okay, that's all. It is already present. Now when it comes to this, I'll just take it off the old one. My end button is not working. I have some, so I'll just delete it. Okay, that's fine. I have deleted now. So this particular thing, the mistake one, so it is inside components lazy load lazy component. It is created here. See, but this I don't want to load something like this statically. I don't want to load it, so I just kept it here. I'll just take it off here. Okay, so this I don't want to declare in the app module. This I want to load it as something like a okay, this is good. So when it comes to the module space, here in the module I will load that import from and I will call it as components. Inside the components I have lazy load, inside this I have lazy load component. Okay, and the name is lazy load component, and this lazy load component I want to declare it as component lazy load. Okay, and I have to define this declaration. I need to give it as lazy load component. That's all. I have declared it here and done. Let me format. Okay, so route is also defined inside this module. Everything is done here. Now when it comes to here, okay, let me come here. App module I have defined it here. This module I need to declare inside my route, but I want to load this as something like a lazy load. So to do that I need to define path. Inside this path I will specify it as lazy, and here I will have to use as something called to do the lazy loading in Angular. You need to use load children and you need to use import and you have to specify, I think it is, sorry, I want to specify the module name. So you need to specify here modules slash lazy module, and here you need to use then statement, and here you need to specify x dot lazy load module. Okay, that's all you need to specify it here. So this will be eagerly loaded, sorry, lazy loaded. If you observe it here, I have not defined that component inside my app modules. I have not declared it, nowhere I have declared it. So I'm in the routing, I'm loading this on the fly, dynamically I'm loading it when based on the request made. So that's all I have done that, and we'll just see whether lazy loading is working or not. This is compiled and you should see it here. Okay, I have placed it my activate thing that I will take it off. So I'll just, instead I will declare that as true. Okay, that's all. Hopefully this should work now. Yeah, it is loaded. Okay, so if you see it here, when I do the lazy load, see, you are observing it here, there is something called modules.lazyload.module.js. This is loaded on the fly, and you should see it here. The, is there any exception? Okay, so there is an exception here. That is the reason I don't see that. I shouldn't use for root. Instead I have to use something else, that is for child, because for root can be used only once. Because I have already used it. So now hopefully this should work. So now I will just specify it as lazy. Yeah, it works and it is loaded, and you will also see in the network tab this is loaded on the fly. So I have not defined anywhere, but this I am loading it on the fly based on my request. Okay, this is about lazy load, and now we will work with uh, can load. Okay, that is a combination with sorry, can guard, that is the combination with can activate and lazy load. Okay, so that's why I will create another can load dot guards dot ts. Okay, this is simply, you can create it, you have to do import. Okay, this will be available in the angular router, and it can be can load. Okay, and can load will have another parameter you need to have, that is route. Okay, now import the same thing as injectable angular core, and here you will see injectable export class. Name it as can load guard implements. Okay, and it should be can load. Okay, this will have a method called can load. Okay, it will take two parameters, one is route, and next one it takes it as segment, URL segment, and it will be array. Okay, so you need to take this thing, and again this will give you again three types: observable bool and promise bool, or bool, normal boolean. So you can return any of these things. Even you can return observable also. That means if you want to make a service call and that service call gives you observable, that will be automatically resolved. Okay, you can even return that. So if you want to see the syntax, you just place mouse over here, it will show you what is the syntax of this. So syntax is here: can load route segments, and these are all the return types: observable bool, promise bool, and boolean return. And you even see, if you see it here in the example, in the syntax given in the Angular, you can see this promise can children, so they're doing it here. That is the variable, they're returning it here. But here, for simplicity's sake, I will just return a simple statement. Okay, okay, that's all I have to do this. And after that, this can load guard, I need to register it here in my app module. So I'll simply go here, and from guards, I'll name it as can load guard, and this can load guard, I need to load it here in my service. Sorry, it has to be in the provider's place. Okay, that's all I have to do. After that, I will come back to my app routing module. In this app routing, I'll combine this with the activate. Okay, first let me place only activate here in this thing. In the lazy load thing, I will only specify can activate. Okay, so I have specified can activate, and this can activate I will make it as false. Okay, so let me run this code, and it is running. And when it comes here, okay, so I will remove here on my main module, I will remove here. I don't want to have here. I have placed it here, so now this page should be loaded. Yeah, the page is loaded. It's awesome. So now let me do lazy. If you see it, sorry, I'll go to network tab. So even though the HTML is not loaded, the JS file is loaded. If you double click on this, it will show you the code. You can see the code. So this code is visible. You can see what is the module loaded and what are all things we are doing. User can see it. So to avoid this, I have used now can load. Now I need to combine this with can activate. Okay, so that means it is not a valid, he is not a valid user to see it. So that's why I made it as can activate false, but still he can see the code. To control the code not to see him, you need to combine with can load. You just specify can load and specify can load. Okay, that I have not defined it here. Let me take from here can load guard. I'll place it here. Okay, here I will specify can load guard. Can load guard is specified. So this can load guard, what I'm returning false. Now you see the magic. You will not see that particular thing. See this network tab, and I'm going to lazy. See, it's not loaded. That lazy module, whatever I have showed previously, it is not loading it. If I make this as true, okay, now you should see it. See, you can see this. Okay, so that is the purpose of case lazy load and can load. Okay, so now we'll see the other guards. The other guard is we'll look resolve. Okay, so let me quickly create resolve guard dot ts, and this I'll just quickly paste it here because this entire code is common. I need to change this to resolve. Okay, and resolve I need to have three other things: activated route snapshot and route state snapshot. Okay, and this is again injectable. I need to make it as resolve guard, and it should accept, sorry, implement resolve, and this will have a method called resolve. Okay, but if you see it here, resolve is expecting something, so that I will return it here. It has any, we need to tell what is the type you want to return it here, so that's the reason I have specified it as return any. And this takes two parameters. Sorry, in fact it takes we can see it here. If you see it here, it takes two parameters, route and state. So let me proceed, place it activated route snapshot and state. I'll place it as route state snapshot. Okay, and this will return observable any. Okay, this will return observable any. If you observe it here, return is returning, you can see the syntax here, it is returning observable any, promise any or anything. So I'm returning observable. That's all I have to do. But here I need to make a service call. Okay, so before my route executes, I want to load the data, so that I will do change in my existing second component module in the sample component module. Here I'm making already a data call. So this data call I have to modify. So I will modify this a bit. Control key, instead of doing here, I will load before itself. Okay, so now what I will do here, I will take this particular code to be placed it there. Control Z, copy, Control KC. Now you have to place it here. Okay, good. So I have to have something called sample component. I need to have configurable service. I'll just make it as very simple. So I will change this a bit. I will not use this entire code. This you can see in my service thing. In service video, you can see that how I created this service. Okay, so now I will not do all these things. I will use simple subscribe. I will not use this pipe. I don't want to do that. I'll just have to place this inside. This is not even required subscribe. I can declare this as return. Okay, return observable. This is observable any. Okay, so that's all I have done here. It is throwing an error because I have not placed all the dependencies. The other dependency I have is constructor config service. This I will place it here. Config service has come, and this is, I don't need it, just take it off. Okay, so the service resolution I have done that, and that's all I have to do. And after that, this I need to register it here. The similar way have I registered for other two, so I will place it here, same thing, and I will make it as sorry, first let me change here so that you will IntelliSense will come. Resolve guard, and this resolve guard I have to place it as a service. I have done that. That's all. Now directly I'll come to route. In this route I will define for the home page, right? Home page I will define resolve. Okay, resolve, and it is again array, and this array accepts data. I will name it as data. And what is the module I have to load? This is very tricky way I have to load. So when it comes here, resolve guard, I have to specify this resolve guard. That's all I have to specify, and I'll just format it. Okay, so it is simple. Home component resolve, I have resolved it, and I placed inside my data variable. That means automatically if it is an observable, the observable will be resolved and you will get the data inside this data variable. Okay, that will be taken care by this resolve guard itself. So you no need to worry about how to subscribe and all those things. You just have to return the observable. That observable will be subscribed and the data will be assigned into this data variable. Okay, now in this my code, in my sample component TS, I just no need to have all this code. I no need to have all these things. So I can just comment it over since I don't need it. So Okay, I have some other code list, so I'll just only comment this particular portion. Okay, this particular portion I have commented it, and here I have to access it. To access that, you need to use something called this dot route router dot router dot config dot snapshot. Okay, so let me see, here I have router. Instead I will have something called route, and this route inside it will be this dot route dot data. You can see the data here, data data. See, you can see it here, data dot, actually it comes as data. Okay, this I have declared it as data, so this I will assign it here. We'll see, just see this. If this is not work, then we'll see the other way. Okay, I'll just place it here, data dot data. I think I will assign this data variable. Okay, since it is an okay, I need to do typecasting, so I just placed it here, debugger. We'll just see how this works. Okay, let me take it off. Anything is pending here, sample component. Okay, that's all I have to do. I have to, I did some mistake when it comes to sample component. Okay, I have okay, implements on it, ng on it, I have it. Let me debug once again. G server. Somewhere I declared it as an wrong sample component. Let me go to ng module. Uh, declaration, I have done that. Declaration I have done here also, I have done that. And component root I have declared here also. Okay, where I have done the mistake. It might be resolve code export implements. I have done, this is all correct. I think I must be having some error here. just clean these things. Okay, this is the wrong here. It is showing here the type does not have a value, so it cannot be used as injected token. Okay, I cannot inject it here. That's what it's trying to tell me. So I shouldn't use route. Instead, I have to use activated route. Let me use this. We'll see this activated route, and here I need to use route dot snapshot dot data. Okay, this is the value I have to use, that data. Okay, as any. Okay, this is the value I should use it. That is the problem. Okay, so now this should solve the issue. Yeah, it is compiled. Okay, now I have put the breakpoint also. We'll just see. It is giving me null injector error, so I believe this is the problem. I think it is inside my. Okay, let me just see this. Just comment it here. Okay, let me change this to normal any, and we'll see. Okay, so we'll just see this. It's compiled. Somewhere it is saying no provided. So let me. Okay, so now when it comes to app component.ts, sorry, resolve god I have declared it as a provider, and resolve god I have declared, and resolve god I have declared it as injectable, and okay, so it's giving this error. I have done some mistake here, so I'll recheck once again. Resolve guard. So the resolve guard I am taking from the configuration service, configure service I'm taking it, and this is the configure service. I have this, so I'm loading it here. This all looks good. So maybe I might have done mistake in my while defining the route. So here I have defined the wrong. I think this shouldn't be an array. Instead I should have a single, because resolve can be only once. That's all I have to do. I think this is compiled. Yeah, once it is compiled, see data is coming up. So this I'm taking from the route.snapshot data. This I have taking it from activate route. So I have the resolve got, I have declared an activated, sorry, not here in the sample component, I have declared it as an activated route. So from the activated route I'm taking the value, and that is available in the snapshot, and from the snapshot I'm taking this value and assigning fields. So this is all about resolve got. Okay, we have to see one more got, that is can deactivate got .ts. Okay, when it comes to the can deactivate got, I'll just take code from here and I will place it here. Okay, and instead of here I will use can deactivate. I've used can deactivate. Okay, these are not required, and here I need to change this to can deactivate and can deactivate, and this will have can deactivate. So we'll just see the syntax. Can deactivate is having these two things, user token and ID. So I can have can deactivate, okay, uh, user token can deactivate. You can see the syntax here. So the syntax is can deactivate. Okay, can deactivate is taking component, current route, current state, and next state. So these are all things it is taking it. So to do that, what I will do here is I have to change this. So instead I will pass this as sample component. Okay, so I will pass the sample component here, and inside the sample component can deactivate, I will take component I will take it as sample component, and route activated route snapshot, and next is state, I'll take route state snapshot. Okay, so this I have to define this comma, and that's all. I can no need to declare the other one, and you can see syntax again. This will give you boolean. Okay, this will give you boolean result. So it is again observable boolean, promise boolean, and everything. I will simply give here it is boolean. Okay, you can return anything here, it is up to you. So return true. Okay, this is the thing I should do it. Okay, but before doing this I have to do certain things here. In the sample component I will go to my sample component. Here I will declare a value called updated, and I'll boolean and declare it as true. Okay, so this I will, when you click on this, I will call here this dot updated equal to, that means I'm mimicking a scenario like when I have done some change on the form. Once I done the change on the form, I'm trying to validate that. So this dot update I have done here, and I will go to deactivate guard. Okay, in the deactivate guard, what I will do is I'll actually do component I have a component here, component dot updated property. If it is updated true, so then I will do return confirm. Okay, do you want to save the changes? Okay, so this is the thing I have done. So what I'm trying to do is when a deactivate page is come, guard is called, I am checking whether are there any save changes. So the save changes I'm passing through my component. So if there are any changes, it will detect and it will show me this message. If I press yes, it will go, otherwise it will navigate away. If it is press no, it will stay on the same page. Okay, so that is the idea. So I will go here in the route module, I will define inside here uh, can can deactivate, can deactivate is an array. Okay, resolve, if you see, it is single. So can deactivate, I have to specify here the name of the guard. So but this guard I have not defined it here in the app module. So let me go here, can deactivate, can deactivate guard. Okay, and here I will define can deactivated guard. Okay, this deactivated guard I need to register it here. Okay, that's all I have to do. And when it comes to here uh, route module, I need to define, I will take from can deactivate, I'll place it here inside my routing module. Control Z, can deactivate, and I'll define it here. That's all I have to do, and this code will be compiled. Once it is compiled, okay, now when I press the click button, it should actually do that. Just see. See, now you seeing it. Do you want to save the changes? Because I'm detecting through this. If I say cancel, it will stay on the page. If I do want to save the changes, okay, I'm navigating away from the page. Okay, so so I'm popping up a message. So this can be done easily by using uh, can deactivate. Okay, this is all about can deactivate guard. And final, there is one more guard is present, that is can activate child. We'll see that can activate child dot guard dot ts. Okay, so I'll just take this entire code and place it here. Instead of can activate, I will use can child activate child. Can activate child, I have placed it here, and this is can activate. So I need to have something called can activate child, and it is taking the same parameters as this. So I'll have to define here can activate child. Okay, resolve state and other things. This is fine. Okay, let me close this. Okay, so this is done. So let me go to my the other portion. So okay, so now in the activate guard, you should able to see it here in the activate guard deactivate. So now activate child, I have created it and it is returning true. And this activate child, I will register it here inside my app module. activate child, defined it here, and I will define this as can activate I think name I have not changed it. Yeah, I have to change this name to child, name conflict otherwise. So I have defined it here, and this I will take and I will place it here. Okay, this I'm taking it here, and I will be placing it inside my route module. Inside this route module I need to define for my child. So normally if I have something like this child, so what we do, can I have here can activate. Okay, inside that I have something called can activate. So this I don't want to impose can activate guard. Okay, so here I have something called children. Inside this children route, so assume that I have something called uh, okay, I have defined something like this. Okay, so now if I have to control child, I mean I want to give open to parent, but I want to give child to anyone, so I can just define it like this. Okay, and if I have multiple, then I have to define multiple times. I mean if I have some more routes, I need to define each and every route. I have to have something called can activate. Okay, so this, okay, I need to do this. Instead of doing this way, what I will do, I have to remove this. Okay, I will allow the parent for everyone, and I will declare here as can activate child here, and can activate child card. I'll give this. Okay, after that the children I will define it. That means I no need to define each and every guard, this child guard. So this child guard will be activated only to this particular children, and these children will be accessible to parent. So that is that one. So you have two ways. You can declare can activate and each and every children, or you can one time you can define here can activate child guard and do the things. Okay, that's all, then it should work. Now let me take this as I've not defined it as a child route. See, I have not defined it as an uh, see, I have not defined it as a child route. That is the reason it is not giving that. But if you defined a child route, this will give you. We'll see one real-time example, with a real-time example how can activate child works. Okay, so I have showed you a brief how activate child works, but the real uses of activate child, we'll see. To do that, to demonstrate that, I will create a component inside my components folder, and after that I will create, and we'll see that. So let me go to cd source and cd app and cd component. Okay, inside here I have to create it. So to create that, I will use a command, that is ng generate component, and I will name this component as view. Okay, now if you observe it, the component has been created under this. Okay, I named it as, and this is also registered here. Okay, so now let me just go and see whether it is working as expected. I don't see. Okay, I stopped the service. Let me start my server. I'll just do ng serve. Okay, now the server is started. Hopefully this should give me, yeah, it is giving me result. So to work on this child view, I have to link here. To link that, what I will do is I will just I will remove this paragraph tags. Instead of that, I will place an anchor tag. Okay, so to redirect, to use the router template, we need to use something called router link. So this is the router link you need to use, and here you need to specify your route, what do you want to navigate. So I will name here it as view. Okay, so we'll just go and see how this works. So it has come. Okay, now the URL same home view, there is no URL is specified, that's why it is showing cannot match any routes with URL home slash view. So to do that, what I will do, I will come back to here in here and I will create a children. This is the way you should create child routes. Okay, and inside here I will specify path I will specify it as view. Okay, and I will name the component, I will place the component. To place the component, I have to come back to my module and take this module, place it here. So I'll define here child route and I place the view component. Okay, now let us see how this works. Okay, my view is getting loaded, and that is coming here inside my view works. Okay, so that means when I click on my child route is getting loaded on the parent itself. This is happening fine. When it comes to app module, this is nothing but a child route. Okay, so I have defined it in the sample component.ts. I have placed a router outlet. So this router outlet will actually display my child here. Okay, so this child is placed here, and it is redirecting. So when it comes to activate child part, so I will demonstrate now activate child part. So we'll go to app routing modules. So here I have two options here. I can use can activate child, or I can have actually define can activate. Okay, can activate, and I can mention the can activate guard for each and every child. Okay, so that if parent is not, so I will take the same thing here and place it here. If parent is not authenticated, even the child also will not be authenticated. Can we go to and activate cards, can activate cards, and it is false. So now if you observe it here, it is not giving anything. If the parent is not loaded, child is also not coming. But there is a scenario that I don't want parent to be loaded. I want parent to be loaded, but I don't want child to be displayed based on some certain condition. In that case, you can take it off parent, and each child you need to define, like can activate guard. Okay, so now this works. See, now it is coming, but it is not going because uh, I have, if you see it here, I don't have anything loaded here because I have made it as can activate guard false. Okay, so instead of doing this way, because if I have hundreds of children inside, I have to pass. So instead of that, simple ways, you can just define can activate child here. Okay, on top of that, and place it here. And when it comes to the guard, return false. So now let us see quickly. Okay, now if I press on anything, hit, it won't show because I have added can activate child on my route. Okay, if I make it as true, see the route is activated and you can see the view is loaded here. Okay, so this is the usage of can activate child, and these are all about guards in routing. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you like this video, please hit like button, and if you like, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.